were ranked 12th in the world. No matter what outfit you put on the field, they have to be able to prove to their coach and their nation they deserve to be there. And we took the opportunity to challenge them. I believe we put our best foot forward. Things didn't go all our way. A few mistakes. At that level, you can't make that many mistakes and get away with it on a regular basis. So lessons learned, I guess. We can see if these lessons were learned come tomorrow night when they play Guatemala. So it's all a process in which one sees the growth. Tomorrow night we'll probably have a different team out there with the coaching staff probably looking at those fringe players that they want to get a good look at. So it'll be another task for another group of players to show what they're worth, given the opportunity, and we'll see how they make out. So, when you start talking about practice matches, you try different things. Those are the games to try different things. Yeah, you want to win, yes, but you want to see what those players who haven't been given a full opportunity to play, what they can do for you. So I'm pretty sure you'll probably see a different look team that will start tomorrow, and then they'll take it from there. So
what have we learned from this? Yes, the coaches have learned, the players have learned, and I'm sure Bermuda has learned from this. But overall, in your opinion, again, what have we learned from this experience from Friday night, preparing for a match on Tuesday night?
There's a different level when you play teams of that caliber. When you play Mexico and the like, there's a different level. That's what they learned. That's what everybody would have learned sitting there watching, playing, being a part of on Friday night. They would have learned there's a different level.
Right. So the naysayers out there, or the people that talk and say, "Oh, we can play against Mexico," the first and foremost is that Mexico has 4 or 5 times the numbers for selection. That's an advantage.
Right.
Secondly, the players, numerous players, are professional.
Yeah.
Right. Third, what you mentioned in the top of the show, that ranked number 12 in the world. And is there a number 4 there?
Number 4 is that we got to see that level.
Got to see it firsthand.
Firsthand. Right. Anybody that was at the stadium or anybody that watched it online got to see it firsthand against Bermuda. I mean, this is the same team that beat the second-ranked powerhouses in our region, United States, 3-0. But they lost 4-0 to Argentina, that same team.
The same team.
So there is another level that, and Coach Carl Light once said it after. I asked him in the press conference after, what does he take from it? And he clearly said we learned there's another level. We've kind of gotten into the level in which they wanted to. The Hades dominating the CFU teams or matching the CFU teams was one thing. Now we're in this next phase, and remember, we're starting at the bottom of that phase because we've just come into it, and it's going to be lessons learned. So it's how we come out on the other side. Again, I mentioned this some time ago, even before they played the Gold Cup. We don't want to happen what happened to the cricket team, where everybody just bashed them when they're playing India, Sri Lanka, and the likes. These guys are 1 and 2 in the world. We don't want to be bashing our team. We want to be helping to lift them up. They're all there for us, so we should be there for them.
Right. So they're paving the way for the future.
Yeah.
Right. So that said, it's obvious once this tournament is over that we need international matches to up our game. That's prevalent, right?
Yeah.
And again, this is where Argentina, Mexico, US, and all these guys, they have these numerous games.
Yeah.
Their players play 40 professional games a year, various cup competitions for the nation as well as their respective clubs.
Right.
Where we say this is our top of the line international match, we need to take it to another brass. And that's why I'm gathering from listening to you on this here, in order for us to improve. Yes, we can improve on international matches, and then that will come over time.
Yeah, well, that and also getting more players that exposure at another level. I think that has helped us tremendously because you have players playing outside of Bermuda. They get a different sense of what it's like. I think a lot of our players, years gone by, we're local base players. So the minute that international competition comes around, you kind of it's new to you, and trying to catch that pace is a little different. And if anybody watched the first 25 minutes of the match on Friday night, we were in it. We defended in zones. We attacked in zones. We played as a unit. But again, when you make mistakes at that level, teams capitalize on it, and that's exactly what they done.
Right.
So,
Okay. Fair enough. All right. So going forward, Bermuda's next match is Tuesday night.
yeah,
Right.
Guatemala.
Yeah. And what time?
I think it's 7:30.
10 o'clock. Not past my bedtime. Okay. All right.
Early o'clock.
7:30.
7:30, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. And then after we play Mexico in November
19th. Yeah.
That's gonna be interesting. That's down in Mexico, of course.
Yep.
Yeah.
The venue still yet has to be decided, as Mexico City will be hosting an NFL game on the 18th, the day before, so that we won't be playing at the Azteca Stadium. So it'll be interesting because,
money's up.
Well, yeah. It'll be interesting because all eyes will be on Mexico Panama, who play tomorrow night as well.
Right.
So we'll be interested to see how that match plays out, and they'll be playing in Mexico, so their fans are going to want them to have a dominating performance and really perform well, ensuring that they come out on top of that match. So if anybody trying to root for Mexico, to help us out.
So what's the goal difference that Mexico has to score?
Well, they have to beat. They'll have to beat Panama by 6 goals. So they beat us by 4, and we were -1 against Panama. So they have to beat them by 6 goals in order for us to be level.
Right.
With Panama.
Right. So we need 6 goals. So we're asking Mexico, by all means necessary, 90+ minutes to score 6 goals and don't concede.
Well,
yeah.
The thing is, on Friday night as well, the game prior to the Bermuda game, USA played Cuba.
Yeah,
it was 3-0 after 9 minutes.
A goal every 3 minutes.
Yep. I said, well, this is going to be a rout. This will be a rout. But it is what it is. 7. Yeah,
that's right. 7.
Yeah.
Marcy.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go Mexico.
Yeah.
6 goals for us. Don't concede. That's what we need.
6 or 7.
6 or 7.
That would do.
And we need to score about 3 or 4. What do you think our chances are
in Mexico?
No, sorry.
Guatemala. The guys are up for it, I guess. I mean, they'll still be licking their wounds from Friday night.
Right.
But all in all, I think the spirits are high. They were delighted that it was a packed house on Friday night, and I think that momentum will carry them through if we get similar, if not the same, come tomorrow night.
Okay. Yeah. They can feed off the crowd.
Yeah, without a doubt. Right. Without a doubt.
That's how it is in sports.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, guests. Who we got today? Line up for guests.
We have waiting out in the hallway.
Okay.
Anton Gilbert from the Bermuda Police Service.
Right.
They're having a torch relay come this weekend. Also, we have Gavin Manders later on in the show talking about tennis.
Cool. And we have the Bermuda Netball Association president joining us today, and of course, Argus Insurance health segment that's brought forward because of some conflicting dates.
Okay.
Things come up, so they're joining us today as well. Also, we have the PGA Golf representative. Sean will be joining us via phone, along with August David via phone as well later on. So let's bring in our first guest. We'll take our first commercial break. Miss Steen will have it all lined up for us, but she's always on point with her situations, and that's how she is. That's how she's smiling right now. It's all right. Anyway, we're gonna go to commercial break, and we'll be back after this. We're excited.
Back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. Inside Sports Talk Radio. And welcome back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. And welcome back to Inside Sports Talk Radio on this Monday.
I love it, Earl. I love it.
The lights are on. The lights are on. Lights, camera, action, go.
Yes.
Well, joining us in the studio right now, we have Anton Gilbert from the Bermuda Police Service, and also on the phone we have Ms. Sumner. Anton, this weekend will be the Bermuda Police Service torch run in aid of the Special Olympics.
Yes, that's correct. Thank you for having me, Earl and Ian. It's a pleasure to be here again. We'll be doing an annual run to support Special Olympics as there's persons in the community who have intellectual disabilities. The police internationally are their advocates, so we try to use torch run to raise awareness.
Okay. And Ms. Sumner, obviously joining up with the Bermuda Police Service for your organization must be something of joy because you're being recognized.
Yes. Anton and along with the Bermuda Police Service have been a blessing to us. They are basically like our parents. They oversee everything for us and allow this process to be very smooth and easy.
When you guys first initially was contacted by the Bermuda Police Service to join in with what they were looking forward to do something in the community, what was your first impression, I guess?
I think we were all just elated, and it was a sigh of relief. It's something that's actually worldwide. So we were trying to figure it out, how to get this partnership going, and then pop, Anton just showed up, and it's been wonderful ever since.
Anton, you and I had quite a few conversations about the Bermuda Police Service joining in with other services around the world who have acknowledged Special Olympics, going to conferences, hearing and seeing other people's messages. What message do you guys have for this year, or what theme do you have for this year to ensure that enough people are aware that we have Special Olympians and it's something that the Bermuda Police Service want to be a part of?
Yeah, so I guess on the most basic front about being a Bermudian, we are promoting sports tourism on the highest level. And the Special Olympians went to Dubai this year, and they competed well, got a number of medals, and they got a little motorcade and all that when they returned. I think just reminding everyone that they are human and equal in every regard and capable of performing at the international level. So as we start to do more sports tourism, just acknowledging that they are part of this community with the national soccer teams and swim teams and all that out there competing. These guys are impressive, and they are taking it to the rest of the world.
What was your first thoughts on when you got not the committee per se, but the athletes themselves?
Even just talking now, I can feel like an overwhelming, just really, really heartfelt experience. Is why it's easy to do this sort of thing. And Sarila, said like, hey, it's been a blessing, but sometimes just doing the work, it just feels good. Being a police officer could be a thankless job, but this, this particular area of community service feels really good. So the athletes, they give me the strength, I'd say. Sometimes you look at them and say, oh, they can't do this or can't do that. But to be honest, they are powerful individuals. And they're inspiring.
Ms. Sumner, your organization does yeoman's work with these athletes. What is the future in store for some of these athletes and many others that you guys could welcome in with open arms?
Well, basically, we are just trying to promote inclusion. That's one of the things that we're definitely trying to drive this year. That these athletes can basically do anything that the rest of us can. Yesterday, we were at the Allied World Community Fund Day, and Power Girl was on, and she was walking around asking the different charities about who they are and what their main purpose is. And we just had our athletes there, and they just spoke up. They wanted to just let everyone know. They didn't even want any help. I know one of the girls was trying to assist in what you're going to say, and she was like, I have this. And that was Danielle. She is one of our Special Olympics leaders, junior leaders. So they were looking to get them back out in the world and competing against each other and just really being able to explore and travel and show their talent.
And Anton, what time and when can we expect the torch relay to start and finish, and where will it finish?
Okay, yeah. So this Saturday, 8:30 a.m. Try to get there by 8:15. Sign ups on racedayworld.com. It's $20 if you want to make a donation. Otherwise, just show up. The relay will go from Prospect Police Field and follow a route through the city, all the way around back to National Stadium, where we will do a final photo and hopefully we'll be able to give a bit of entertainment and refreshment. The relay will be slow as there'll be athletes with us, so it's not a race as per se, but more of a fun run walk, so that we can carry the torch and that will lead us through the city for a nice picturesque experience, I'd say.
I know it's something that the commissioner has been keen to be involved in. Will we see him at some point?
Yes, hopefully he doesn't get too upset. I think he's recovering from the Gymkhana. He had a bit of a spill after winning a bike race, but I think he most likely will.
He'll soldier through.
Someone will be there. Yes, there.
I wanted to add that we are also trying to encourage all of the inter-services to participate. So I have my commissioner, acting commissioner, which is Kiva Major Benjamin. She has offered to come out also. She may not participate in the run, but she'll be there at City Hall to kind of encourage everyone as they come past. So we also have some other personnel from Department of Corrections that will be there. Department of Corrections are also worldwide apart. They have a small part in being affiliate with the law enforcement torch run. So we're just looking for any and all inter-services to come out and participate. Even if you don't want to participate in the run, it will be such a pleasure to greet these guys as they come through City Hall and take a photo up. We're trying to grow this so that, Bermuda's small, and in the U.S. and other places, there are hundreds of thousands of people that participate in this. So we're just really trying to grow this so that it becomes a really major event.
Ms. Sumner, you're no stranger to this event, so I just wanted to know, are you be participating? I mean, they're going to walk now, they're not going to run all, so you have an opportunity.
So let me clarify this. So I have had persons ask me, can you walk? So it is not a walk. It is a fun run. And in the spirit of fun run and my role as promotions, I too will be signing up on race day and running.
Well, fun run. Yeah, right. That's a separation. Right, that's not the same. Now, let's identify it correctly. You said it. Fun run. I get it. Okay, we'll be looking out for you.
Yes.
All the best.
Ms. Sumner, anything else you want to wrap up with?
No, I think that's it. Thank you very much for always having us and taking interest.
Just one quick question. You said donations was $20 or something?
Yeah, $20 on Race Day World to
Okay.
sign up,
Alright.
or you can just donate if you want via the same site.
Okay.
The same run site everyone uses for local events.
Right.
Or otherwise, to say just show up and show some support. It's really about raising awareness as much as we like to fundraise on behalf of Special Olympics. And also, give a shout out to like Crossroads soccer team. They come out every year. They were going to send their PVs as they normally do, but they have some games on
Game day
Saturday.
Saturday, yeah.
And the Bermuda Fire Service also sends out some of their employees as well, which we're really grateful for their support. Yeah.
Position to you, Anton?
Yes, normally they have some participants that show up as well, and they allow us to use their vehicles in past years. So it's been a great response over the years, and can keep developing into something. Yeah.
Okay. Well, good luck on Saturday. All the best to the athletes, and hopefully I can get there and greet you guys when you get back to the stadium.
I have seen you running some mornings, and I was wondering, also signing up.
I will be donating, that's for sure. How's that? I know.
That's a
I know.
bailout. That's a
No,
bailout.
it's a donation. A donation, right? A donation, yes. And it will be a worthy donation. And since you're going to be doing the fun run, who knows? I may join you. You said fun run. I got it.
Well,
But just so the public is aware, it's not a closed road event. It will be on open roads, escorted by the police. So ideally there won't be any, I guess, traffic delays and all that sort of thing. By 10, we should be off the roads and done for the day. So yeah. If you're going into the city, by all means, still go via Fun Street, etc. But we won't be holding you up.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, we want to thank you both for your time. We look forward to Saturday's event, and all the best in the future with the Bermuda Police Service and Special Olympians.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. We'll take a commercial break and be back with the netball president, Kamal Evans, after these messages.
Is a smart
Radio, Inside Sports Talk Radio on Power 95 FM with host Ian Rollins and co-host Earl Beeston.
And welcome back to Inside Sports Talk Radio here on this Monday, October 14th. Joining us in the studio now are two ladies from netball. We have the president, Kamal Evans, and we have... Sorry?
Danielle Reno.
I know Danielle Reno, but she said something.
She's our first vice president. I'm second vice president.
Okay.
As well.
When you mouthed something, I was like, I know her name. Why is she telling me?
She was trying to let you know her other rules.
I'm sorry. Second Vice President Danielle Reno. Welcome, ladies. How are you? Good. Just recently concluded was netball fever, and Danielle, I know you were one of those ones who were very instrumental in helping to make sure this gets going. It's been one of your, as Ms. Evans has told us before, it's been one of your pet projects for quite some time. Enlighten us on the 3 weeks that you had, or is it 4 weeks? How many weeks was it?
That was Saturday going was the third week.
Third week. So how has the 3 weeks evolved with participation and the level in which you've seen improve over the 3 weeks?
Well, I have actually been off island, so Saturday was my first time going, but I was so excited when I got there. The kids are just adorable.
Yeah.
They are. I was working with the 4 to 7-year-olds, and they're just so keen on learning, and it's good because they constantly remind you of how much fun they're having.
Right.
Like, we're having so much fun.
Right.
Yay!
If only that could transfer over to when it's game days if they can still have fun.
Yeah.
I know one of the things about netball is it's very robust at times when you get to, especially at the senior level and the under 16, because there's so much movement going on. And I think at times in games people forget to have a little bit of fun.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Even with teammates. I
Yeah.
think that's the one thing when you see kids playing a sport, you remember, hey, it is fun.
Yeah.
It is fun. But Ms. Evans, you've been there for the 3 weeks, so
Yes, that's correct. It's been amazing to watch. We have almost 50 girls for the past 3 weeks. We've had just about 50 girls each time. A few times we've actually surpassed the 50-person mark. It's really exciting, and I think that these are the types of events that we have to have that bring back that feel-good moment. Sports is intense; it will always be intense because it's a competitive environment. However, what we've constantly talked about is letting people enjoy things and start loving things. And if we get them from a younger age and they start to love things and they enjoy it, then it will automatically, filter into as they mature into mature athletes.
as the second vice president, Danielle, what do you hope the committee can accomplish this year in itself? Because every year you guys is looking to do different things, but
Yes.
as person that sits, I guess, right next to the president, and you got an ear for the president. What are you hoping that you guys could accomplish this year in particular?
Well, I'll be focused thus far is definitely concentrating on developing at home, domestically, the coaches, the umpires, and player development overall. So that's a lot of the focus this year. So we had our umpire session and a technical official session, and we're doing up all fever to get the players up to par, and with that we're also training new coaches and PE teachers that come out who could see hands-on, how to conduct the training session and different types of drills that they could take back to their school teams. So we're definitely doing a lot of focus on grassroots and just developing domestically.
The sport has had a lot of females take part, but they've seemed to have found other things in life to do. To encourage those ones to come back at any point in time, whether it be the summer or the winter league, how do you guys plan to address that? Because I think it's more of a reach out and welcome back type deal. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, one of the great things, even with our little netball fever, and in turn will filter into Pee Wee netball, we have two veterans of the sport that are managing and taking over that, which is excellent for us. We've constantly talked about trying to bring in our older members and them doing their part, and these two, Merle Parfit and Jeannie Charles, constantly do their part in trying to help elevate the sport and promote the sport. So we're really excited. I mean, you should see them. They're the ones that's actually dealing with the little babies.
Right.
And I mean, they have the patience of Job. So it's really great to watch. And I just want to also mention that netball fever will be running for one more week. We will finish this week. Obviously, due to the hurricane, we extended it. We extended the deadline for when we end. Obviously, like we amended our registration as well as our start date of the actual overall
Which is
league,
next week
which is
Saturday, right?
November 2nd.
No,
Yeah.
November, week after next.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Have you guys had that response that you were looking for teams this year? Have we increased? Have we stayed the same?
Hey, I am so excited because remember we talked about the fact that we were doing adding another age division. We actually shuffled them around a bit, um, allowing for a little bit more development. Previously, we had a under 12, under 16, and then you automatically went into seniors. We heard what our members said, and we adjusted, and we put it out there, and they have basically answered the call. Right now, we're looking at a minimum of at least 5 teams in each division, and that will be under 11, under 14, under 17, and seniors, with some having actually like 6 and maybe 7. So we upped our teams, and we're excited about this. One of the other things that we don't, because our focus truly is development, we aren't penalizing any players that want to play up. Previously, our rules stated if you played 2 matches up,
You had to
the
stay
third
up.
match you had to stay up in that division. We recognize that, we want to develop these players. We want them to have moments of success, and then we also want them to have moments where they're being challenged. So I think this definitely speaks to that, and will allow coaches to give their players the opportunity to do well within their age groups. And we have those ones that are a bit more developed than others, and then we have the ones once they play up, then they have the opportunity to be challenged.
Is there a number of play-ups per game, or
Unlimited.
it's unlimited? Okay.
In your time as president, you've been stressing the importance of development. With that said, how much development have you seen in your time? Because every time we talk, it seems like there's improvements, which we want improvement in your sport. But it seems like a vast improvement under your watch.
Well, I'm glad you say vast because it seems like baby steps.
You're in it. You're in it.
Yeah,
I mean, we're
inside.
definitely in it
You
to
got your
try
rain
and
boots
continue.
on.
Right.
Yeah. But I mean, for us, at the end of the day, any baby step is a step towards the right direction. One great, I think, feat for the Bermuda Netball Association was the way the voting went this year and the persons that have come on board. I think the new additions within our council, it definitely speaks to the fact that we are collectively in this together. We have some persons that have come on board that have really strong, suits that we needed within the association, which will help to push it forward. So that was first a major step, as far as I feel, for the Bermuda Netball Association. And then we have the young girls that are continuing on. Before, what happened was sometimes when they reached a certain age, they kind of drop off a bit, and as they do in most sports. But we have people coming back. We have those ones coming back. We're continuously trying to develop them from young, letting them enjoy the sport, and they're sticking with it. Even if they go off to school and they come back, they're coming and they're, at least playing with the team. So I think those areas right there, I mean, speak volumes for us. And the major thing was that we haven't had any form of technical or umpire training for quite a few years.
Right.
So that was excellent for us, and it was an excellent turnout as far as persons that came to the technical officials and then the umpire. And I think we might have had at least maybe 30 plus that came on to the course. So that means that people are taking an interest.
Yeah,
so it
definitely.
speaks volumes to what we are doing.
You also have Digicel as a sponsor,
Yes,
and that's been doing quite well.
Digicel are amazing. Yes, it's been doing phenomenally well. We had a full year. For anyone that hasn't seen it, Digicel also has a little promo out there promoting not only the sport of netball but young women, and what the sport of netball is doing to help promote our young women. So we're really excited about our second year and hopes that we can continue a partnership and hopefully bring on some others.
Watch this. Just look that way. Watch it. Danielle Go Machine Reyna.
Smile. Big smile.
How do you teach one the art of shooting netball? Because there is an art to it. It's a
There
skill
is
to
an
it.
art.
How do you because you're like a robot when it comes to that. It's like anywhere I am, I can just hit it. Yeah. So how do you teach, especially at a young age? Because that's at a young age, that's pretty much what everybody wants to do. No matter what sport it is, it's score.
Yes.
Yeah. So how do you teach that at a young age?
Well, it's funny you should say that, Earl. On Saturday, I was with the 4-year-olds, and before we ended the session, we had them shooting. So obviously the pills are a little bit high, so we just tilted them a little bit. But basically, at the 4-year-old level, we're just teaching them to shoot with one hand because they have more control to try to more power, I should say, to get it in the hoop. But at say on the 11s and up, I teach them the proper form of shooting, and it's just about balance. You bend your knee, follow through, and I just go over that and what it feels like to do it without the ball first, and then just get the motion down.
Technique.
Yeah, and then after that we add in a ball. And we just take some shots.
For you, did it come natural, or was it something you worked at?
I actually, before I went away to under 21s, I used to shoot with one hand.
Right.
And then Miss Soltis, I don't know if it was Miss Sotis herself, but somebody came down to the courts for one training session and they was like, nope, you are not shooting like that anymore. You have to shoot with your arms straight and you have to bend and flick your wrist. And we had to do it. And I remember my shoulders killing me.
Right.
They were killing me. I was like, oh, I don't want to shoot like this. But when they, it's funny because as soon as they taught me that, it was like instantly just gave me an every time. I
Right.
was like, hey, okay. So from then on, I've been shooting like this.
Mm.
So Earl, the trick is for you on the men's play to go get some practice from her.
Oh, I don't play shooter.
Oh,
No, sir. No,
It's
sir.
top defense.
It's
right there.
easier to defend, mate.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not shooting. No, that thing's too small, man. It's ready ball to the ceiling and let it come down, man. It ain't like basketball.
Like basketball.
No, man. Some can make it look like basketball, but not me.
Not that man.
Not me.
Okay.
I warmed up and kept missing. I said, that's it for me. Yeah, I'm getting back
Takes a
down the
lot of
back.
accuracy.
It does. It does. But a lot of people will get the impression that it's
Yeah.
easy to do.
Yeah.
And the first thing a guy does is bounce, and then tries to shoot
No.
like a basketball.
And it gets rid of it.
Yeah.
I think it's a backboard throw.
Yeah,
There's no backboard.
yeah,
There's no backboard.
yeah.
Okay.
Which those are the fundamental things and I ask that because, like I said, the first thing a kid wants to do, no matter what sport, as long as there's a girl involved,
They're gonna shoot
I want to shoot.
from hockey to you
And it's good that they're shown the form at a young age. So if as they get older,
Mhm.
it sort of becomes that natural thing. Not everybody's going to be a shooter,
Yeah.
but if you're able to teach that, they might when you play your what is it, the mixed match one, the one
Yeah.
where you change the bibs and all that.
Lucy.
Who's who? Yeah, that's the one you got to play in.
You should get Miss Thing in there as well. What do you think? Think she can shoot?
I heard at the top of the show, Miss Thing said she was here, but she's not here. So I'm not going to get onto that right now. You can take that up during the recess break.
All right, not a problem.
But anything else you guys want to add before we go? I know you said fever, one more week. Season gets underway November 2nd. What else are you looking for?
We want to encourage people to register their young players from 4 to 7 for our Pee Wee netball. It's the best thing. It's great, like I said, for building camaraderie, balance and control, and just helping to establish those teamwork skills that are needed just as a human being. So come out and have some fun. Register with bdanetball@hotmail.com and look out for our flyers and our promos. So that's a 12-week program that's running from November 2nd at Bernard Park from 11 to 12.
Okay, before the day kicks off.
The day
Yeah.
before.
Making it a very long day. I know you guys must go home on a Saturday and just fall out because it is such a long day.
We love our summer break. But then after summer, we're like, I miss
I miss it.
netball.
I want it back. I want it back. Well, we wish you all the best this year. I know last year we had a lot of challenges due to the courts being damaged, weather related. It's just so many obstacles, but you guys came through and showed your toughness, both mentally and physically. And hopefully this year things run smoothly and we have a good season, starting with those PBs right up to the seniors. So all the best, and
Thank
we look
you.
forward to talking to you again in 2 weeks.
Yeah. 2
2 weeks time.
2 weeks time.
Enjoy the rest of your day, ladies.
Thank you.
We're gonna go to news and be back after the news and weather.
Talk Radio on Power 95 FM with host Ian Rollins and co-host Earl Bastow.
And welcome back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. On the phone with us right now, I got the full feedback. Okay, there we go. On the phone right now is Shakira Warner, representative of Argus Insurance. Good afternoon, Shakira, and how are you? And how was your weekend?
The Ministry of Health is getting ready to start the Steps to Well Bermuda Chronic Disease Risk Factor Survey. So we had a very long interviewer training, but I think the interviewers are ready to get out into the field.
Okay, cool. Now, this is your time. This is your time to shine. As you know, you're one of our sponsors for Inside Sports. This week, you want to talk about recognizing common mental health issues sooner rather than later, of course, and a follow-up with Mental Health Awareness Week. What are the common mental health issues that affect the average person?
Yeah, so what a lot of people don't realize is that mental health illness is actually, in some cases, common. So about 1 in 4 adults will experience a mental health illness in a given year. And these 7 kind of common mental health issues include things like anxiety, depression, eating disorders, post-traumatic stress disorder, such as PTSD, bipolar disorder, substance use disorder, and psychosis. So those are the 7 most common mental health issues, and probably the most, the ones that we hear about the most include things like anxiety and depression.
And what are some of the signs?
So the kind of key message that I want to drive home here is that, again, these are very common common occurrences, mental health issues. And before we kind of get into the early warning signs, I kind of want to talk about things that can result in a period of poor mental health. So these are, very common lifetime events that people experience, such as having a long-term chronic health condition, such as cancer or type 2 diabetes, that really can affect your mental health, as well as your physical health. Also, loneliness. Experiencing discrimination or stigma. So sometimes it's a challenge for individuals to to find work. That can lead to a period of mental illness. Poverty and debt also affect our mental well-being. A very common one is grief. Not just losing someone close to you through death, but also through perhaps a breakup or maybe a friendship that breaks up. Also, if you're going through long-term stress, people who are in the baby boomer generation are at an age where they're taking care of both their parents as well as their children, and that can lead to a lot of financial stress if really they're managing, 2 or 3 households. Violence and trauma can result in a period of poor mental health, and I think that's for obvious reasons. And then also, what people may not realize is that certain kind of physical changes to the brain can affect our mental and emotional well-being. So, say for example, head injuries, head injuries are quite common after motorcycle accidents. And also, as you get older, our brains actually do change. So things like Alzheimer's and dementia, and Parkinson's disease can have an effect on mental well-being and emotional well-being.
All what you said is important, and ironically, say 15 years ago, maybe 20, it wasn't recognized, but we knew these issues were there. We didn't understand the symptoms, we didn't respect it, but now there's more attention put forth. And why so?
I think it's become more normalized. I think mental health and mental well-being is not so taboo anymore. I think we are becoming more comfortable and advancing as a society to have these conversations. I think, as you say, yes, 10, 15 years ago, I think the majority of the population kind of understood mental illness as individuals who may be homeless or people with drug problems or people who needed to be institutionalized because of these mental illnesses. But really, I think there's a recognition that at any point in our lives, we can experience a period of illness, of mental illness, just like how we can experience periods physical illness, you can experience periods of mental illness. And I think that now, as a country, we're getting more comfortable having those conversations and developing support systems so that we can get to a better place, get back to well-being, just like how we have things to address our physical well-being.
Um, when an organization recognizes that a employee has is having challenges mentally and or mental health issues, how do how should that be addressed? Because you don't always want to approach the person. So how would one address if you recognize that someone is in need of help, but you don't know how to get them that help?
Yeah, definitely. And you raised a really good point. Having those one-on-one conversations with individuals about their mental well-being, it's still a challenge because we are talking about um, if when you're in the workplace and you ask how you're doing, and the generic response is fine. And I think we have to prepare ourselves to get beyond that generic answer of fine and approach people with genuine and authentic concern. So, in terms of um, how people can approach or how people can approach individuals with mental health issues, or um, first they need to extend themselves in a way that really is genuine and authentic, and that's just asking them, if they want to talk or how are you. But of course, you can't force the person to talk. So
Hmm.
really, it's just being there and making yourself available, making sure that the time and the space is appropriate and comfortable to that individual, so that if they do want to open up to you, that they can in a way that is comfortable to them.
I know your topic is mental health, but a lot of people have physical ailments as well that just compound things, and they could be feeling down, and that could be, I guess, construed as mental health as well. But the people that are challenged in many ways in health, what advice would a place like Argus give them to ensure that they can reach out or reach out to someone or a physician?
Definitely, and you do make a good point. I mean, even just thinking to our own experience, if you're sick with a cold or a flu, and it just feels like it's dragging on and on and on, you just feel like it's never going to end. It does play, on your emotions, and you start to feel a little bit down. But if you can imagine people who are dealing with long-term illnesses, where they may not where they may be having some challenges, it really can have an effect on their outlook and how they feel about themselves. So, in terms of what we would suggest, from artist's perspective, is your primary care physician or your specialist, they can provide assistance to you. So they're not just there to treat the physical side, but also talk to you about your options when it comes to dealing with your emotional and mental well-being. So whether that is kind of connecting you to resources out in the community, helping you to schedule appointments, or even just giving you some advice on how to better manage your condition so that you can better manage your condition with the support of the people that are closest to you, so that you kind of have that support network to help kind of carry you through those troubled times.
Okay. Don't go anywhere. We're going to take a commercial break and we'll be back after this. Still have Mrs. Warner on the line from August. We have a couple more questions before we wrap up today. Prevention. We talked about some very important points regarding mental health, and what are the 10 evidence points that stand on in your mind that can we can help people with this illness here?
I think in order to help other people, we ourselves have to be in a good space. So taking care of your own mental well-being, realizing that you don't have to be at your lowest to seek help, and kind of taking little proactive steps to take care after our, sorry, to take care of our mental health are really important. So these are things that you can incorporate in your day-to-day life. So the first thing is to talk about your feelings. So if things are not sitting right with you, or just you feel like you're starting to get a little bit overwhelmed, reach out and talk to a friend, or if you need to if you feel like you need to seek professional help, there are resources out there, such as the Employee Assistance Program of Bermuda, who's a wonderful partner of ours. And then there are also some private clinical therapists who can provide you with some guidance and help kind of untangle those thoughts. Um, we talk a lot about keeping active and eating well. These are things that you can do for your body, and we know that keeping active and keeping a good diet, they really do have a positive impact on your mental health. Another thing that we can do to be preventive when it comes to our mental health is to drink sensibly. So we know that alcohol itself is a depressant, and if you and we understand that alcohol can become addictive and can result in things like substance abuse disorder, and also another kind of has other cascading effects on our mental well-being. So drinking sensibly is quite important. Keeping in touch, so making sure that we have our social networks, we have people who we can lean on if we do need someone to talk to or do need support. So making sure that our social networks are strong. Make sure that you take breaks, whether that is throughout your day, little kind of 15-minute breaks which you're allowed to have as an employee, making sure that you take your lunch break. If you have vacation time, use that vacation time. It's there for a reason. It all is good for, just helping to hit that reset button so that you can get back to a better space of focus. Um, do things that you're good at. So if you have any special talents or hobbies, it's always good to use that as an outlet to make yourself feel better. Um, do things for others. That's also another thing that helps with mental well-being. So whether that's helping your granny get her groceries or volunteering at a charity event, these are all things that can help boost our emotional well-being.
Okay, those are some good points. And of course, the resources of that available in Bermuda.
So one thing that I would recommend is for employees, ask your HR managers or your direct manager um, who your company has as an employee assistance program, whether that's the EAP of Bermuda or Benedict's Associates, and also make sure that you have that number handy. Alternatively, when you go into your primary care physician, your GP, ask them who they would recommend as a mental health or emotional health resource for you, because they can give you a referral to a clinical psychologist who can help provide some additional support. So I know we talk a lot about prevention in terms of physical well-being, but I would also recommend people doing preventive mental health checks. So that means not waiting until you're kind of at a low point, but kind of having a mental health check with a clinical psychologist to see how you're kind of doing and managing in terms of those everyday stresses that we may experience, whether that be financial, whether that be family, whether that be work related. So just doing those check-ins to make sure that you're coping well.
Okay, and those are some very, very good points there, especially in this case here regarding mental health issues across the board in Bermuda and across the world. Is there any final points you'd like to add before we wrap up?
So, just finally, mental health illnesses are very common. They can affect, they will affect most of us, likely. So, 1 in 4 adults will experience a mental health illness in a given year. The most common of these that we know are anxiety and depression, and they can result from A period of poor mental health can result from a variety of things, such as grief, such as having a long-term illness, dealing with financial stress, etc. So it's important to recognize those early signs and then seek support, whether that be through your HR manager, whether that be through an employee assistance program, or whether that be through your doctor. And before you get to that point, there are things that you can do on a day-to-day basis to look after your mental well-being, to care for yourself, and of course, the best way to be able to help others is be to have control over your mental and emotional well-being.
Okay, well, thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. That's some valuable information as we mentioned earlier. We look forward to having you back on next week, Sunday, for a special edition. So we look forward to having you then. Enjoy the rest of your day and keep up the good work. Thank, likewise. Thank you. We'll take a commercial break and we'll be back after this.
Inside Sports Talk Radio. Inside Sports Talk Radio on Power 95 FM with host Ian Rollins and co-host Earl
What did you
Wilson.
say?
And welcome back to Inside Sports Talk Radio on this Monday, October 14th. Joining us in studio now is Gavin Manders, Bermuda's #1 men's tennis player, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
I know that. Yeah. Gavin, of late, you've been doing some remarkable things, both locally and internationally. Just recently, earlier this year, you were in Costa Rica representing Bermuda at the Davis Cup, and it has now been announced, or you've been informed, that you will be recognized for an achievement of getting a Davis Cup Commitment Award. The Davis Cup Commitment Award goes to individuals who have shown long-standing dedication to represent their country in the Davis Cup competition, and it's a dedicated honor. It will be hung on a dedicated honor board in London in recognition of your accomplishments over the Davis Cup in tennis. First of all, congratulations.
Appreciate that.
It's been a journey.
Yeah,
You've had your highs, you've had your lows.
sure.
You've had your good times and you had your tours.
Yeah.
Because everyone knows what it is.
Yeah, sure.
But over the years, you've been able to maintain yourself physically and mentally. Mentally has probably been the toughest things for you, I would say, watching you play over the last few years. Would you say?
Actually, no. Yeah. Physically, it's been a little bit more difficult. You're probably talking about kind of the fiery stuff that I have out there, but
Right.
that's mentally is actually my strongest. That's kind of what's allowed me to say that the physical is the hardest part to keep up with these young guys. I mean, tennis is a very physical sport, and mentally I can hang with the best of them. That's pretty much how I've got this commitment award, to be honest. Even though my physical has been great throughout certain times, with business, 2 kids, family, I'm not a full-time athlete, similar to what we deal with in other sports. So these are commitments that I have to do outside of, a 50-hour week. Well, kids, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. So the physical's been tricky. Later in my career, right now, I'm with Beyond Fitness, who are really helping me kind of stay tuned. I would say that mentally right now, which might touch to what you were talking about, is more figuring out how long I want to do this for. I still love to compete. I still love the process for the most part. But it is difficult. There's a reason why there's only like 360 something people who have got this award before in all of Davis Cup history, because to maintain this year in and year out, it's, it really takes a toll on you, you really have to love it, and I do. So right now I am in a spot where I'm fighting with myself to want to keep doing this. But that's something that anyone at my age that's been doing it for this long will go through, and it's pretty much just how long can I continue to love it? Because as long as I love it and I'm in shape, I can compete with anyone.
Right. Having the youngsters like Tariq Simons, Trey, and these younger guys who are hitting the ball very hard, getting exposure at a young age of overseas play a lot more. Does that keep that fire in the belly going?
Yeah, it definitely helps. I mean,
because you've actually helped them. In those regards.
My goal is to create better people than me. If not, to me, I'll fail. All this individual achievements, and this is a commitment award, but it still goes to my team, because the team has helped me. People who have hit with me, Chris Week, Sam Butler, David Thomas, Jensen Bascom, who also has this award, and seeing these guys and being able to give them all of what I have helps me stay motivated to want to go. It's definitely a high percentage of that's wanting me to be there. I mean, I don't know if someone like a Daniel Phillips will be playing with us, but I hope that if he is, that I can maintain long enough so I could be out with him playing doubles, 1-all in a Davis Cup match.
Right.
So I definitely live for some of these things. and it makes it worth it to stay in there because it's not really individual for me. At this point, I've done a lot of things, so now it's being able to help the others do some of these things, and that's more important.
Running a business is very difficult in Bermuda, and you face your challenges of being at Fairmont.
Sure.
How are things materializing with that business going on?
Yeah, I mean it's good. Like you just said, I would agree 100%. I mean it's tricky in Bermuda, run especially a small business in an industry that money is there, but it's not a lot of people.
Mhm.
And the work that we're trying to do doesn't really materialize into money all the time. And it's something that we hold dear. So it's a tricky thing because in business, it's technically supposed to be all about making money.
Mhm.
But some of the things that we're about, like it's a movement. MTN movement is a thing that we are really trying to make a difference locally, trying to get kids that can't afford it out more. We do a lot of pro bono free type stuff because the future is more important to us. But at the same time, we're figuring out that balance and also the landscape of Bermuda tennis in general.
How's your communication and relationship going with Naeem?
Naeem's is constant.
Right.
I don't want to call him a protege anymore because
Right.
at this point, we're equal. And he's doing great things. I consider him, a brother. And we stay in communication. There's definitely always an option that we are talking about with the possibility of me being there, or him coming here. But for him, it doesn't really make sense right now. There's just a lot of stuff going on that's making it a little tricky. So for me, this award is just another notch that proves my worth, and it's something that can help me give me a little more wood for the fire to keep it going. But I keep communication with all my guys, and anything's possible.
Looking at the three that we have involved in this week's ITF Bermuda Open Junior Tennis Tournament going on at the WERO Tennis Stadium, do you see that fire in these three guys' eyes when you've had a chance to sit with them and talk with them? I'm not sure if you've seen Scott because he came in late, but
No,
obviously
I've seen Scott. Scott's part of the MTM family. We've
Right.
been with him for quite a while. My answer to that would be that everyone's different.
Mhm.
I don't want to say that I don't see fire in them. They're not the same type of person as
Mhm.
me per se. But they do have their own fire in their own ways and how they do it. At the end of the day, you have to have some form of fire to get out there and play 5 hours a day.
Right.
This is not for the weak.
Mhm.
And I think that everyone has to go through their process of figuring out for themselves. Like they're coming to the age where it's no longer like Ricky gonna be able to, tell him what to do, or Tariq's parents, or even us as coaches. They have to now intrinsically figure out exactly what it is they want from this, and then we can help them from there. So they're at that spot, coming into 17 years old. This is Tariq's last under 18 tournament. This is Scott's last under 18 tournament. Scott's actually come back from college. He's on scholarship at college
Right.
playing. So I would say that they are individually different with themselves. They definitely have some form of fire, but it's not the exact same.
Your method of teaching or helping individuals is rather unique. I know you like to get under people's skin, especially when you know what they're capable of doing. I watched you as guys prepared in Costa Rica for the Davis Cup,
Sure.
and you were constantly challenging the two youngsters in Trey and Tariq to do better because you know they can do better.
Sure.
Getting to know the players and what sort of turns them on to be positive the whole time. How do you manage to do that with guys you work with?
I mean, it's an individual basis. I think that motivating someone is not just tennis; it's across all sports. It's one, figuring out their personality, but also at the higher level, what you would have seen at Davis Cup. I mean, we're at Davis Cup.
Mhm.
There's no time for none of these games. Like you're either ready or you're not. There's a difference between being at Davis Cup and giving advice and being back home and coaching them to become better tennis players. There's definitely different approaches to that. But at Davis Cup, you would have seen me challenging them to see who's ready. We were playing in 2 days. You know, we're here now. You either are ready to go and you can handle this type of fire, or you're not, and you will sit until you're ready. You know, and as long as you can show that you can put through the effort to be in it, that's all that we're asking. But if you are not ready, you need to say that you're not ready. And those type of days that you saw will be, you know, me challenging them, because at the end of the day, I'm expecting them to beat me in practice before we go out and play. Like that's what it's for. They hit more balls than me, but the mental side is that big, and that's what I try to push them in. My one of my main things is teaching people how to be mentally stronger, and finding that intrinsic motivation to be better themselves, rather than me trying to tell them to be better. It's, you know, it's a tricky area, but you know, that's kind of what I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
In all your years participating in tennis, grew up from a sporting family. What's been the most gratifying that comes to mind within tennis for you?
This is not really the answer to that. Most of them, seeing my son hit the ball over the net.
Okay.
You know,
Carry that legacy. Okay.
just that will be something that will come straight to. I just don't have the same motivations anymore. Like this award is great, but I want someone else. I want to help someone else get this award.
Right.
You know, Mabes is someone who's been a mentor and coach for me throughout the time, and giving back is what's actually got me to be here. You know, from when I quit tennis, even when I lost my toe, and people were like, "There's no way." I mean, he's a defensive player. His balance is gonna be off. How is he gonna come back? I want my kids to be able to see me play, so it hopefully motivates them. Like you said, I come from a sporting family. There's a reason why some of these families have so many athletes.
That's
It's
right.
not just because how some people say, "Oh, well, it's in your genes." No,
Yeah.
this is bred from young.
Yeah.
This is bred from you giving them the foundation to possibly, you know, go further in that. So for me right now, I'm hoping that the things that I'm doing can help motivate the next generation. So like seeing my son hit the ball over the net, seeing Trey break my own record, like, you know, helping Tariq get to the next level, his first Davis Cup debut. My youngest is now hitting over the net. That was, you know, and that happened on that type of day where I coached all day. He came after school. My wife brought him to work because she comes and throws some balls to him too sometimes to debate while I'm finished. And he was like, "Daddy, I want to play." I'm like, "Oh man, I'm so tired, man. Like, been out here all day. This is during camp too, you know, like 7 hours out there." And I looked, I was like, "All right." And when I went out there, he literally hit his first ball over the net that day, and I was like, you know, it made my almost year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So these are the type of things that motivate me at this point to keep going. You know, for this award specifically, I mean, I just wish, you know, my mom was here to see this. She would have been someone that, you know, would appreciate this. My dad would. He's away right now. But those are more of the things that kind of keep me going at this point, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
Best the stars could use the left hand.
Yeah, well, I've said the same thing over and over. I'm pretty sure it might have been a year ago.
Yeah, it was a year ago.
Yeah, that's right.
That at the end of the day, until one of the youngsters take me off the top, I can't. I don't have the time. I wouldn't disrespect the sport enough to think that I'm just going to go back and play unless, and me personally, if I'm going back to play, like I'm going to practice, I'm going to take the same approach that I take to tennis, to cricket, for that time that I'm in it. You know, it's not going to be, I'm not coming to practice because I don't have time and I'll play on the weekends. That's not what I'll be looking to do.
No.
So until I can do it, and until they've taken me off, and if they don't do it soon, who knows? It may never happen, you know. Not taking on the top of me getting back to playing cricket, you know.
Yeah.
But I would love to do it, but you know, it was my first love, but I don't. You know, I'm doing something else right now.
No.
What would you consider your stronger court, clay or hard?
Technically clay, because of my game style. But from my backhand side, it's hard. It's a but clay, I have a better record on clay. But most people don't know, for our the awards that we have, and the groups that we're in. Traditionally, we've always been in group 4. See, Group 4 was erased because a lot of the smaller islands were not respecting and having funds and understanding the importance of Davis Cup. So they were hosting events, and only 3 teams would show up. People not putting in, paperwork on time and things like that. So now we're only in Group 3.
Right.
So these type of things make it a lot more difficult to, compete yearly because we're not having the opportunity to play at our level. If we move up, getting some form of financial assistance or funds, we're going in Group 3, and if we come back with a 9th, it's like, well, they go down and they didn't do well again. But it's because we're in a group that tradition we've just never been in, and we didn't develop to that level and then be there. We were just pushed in it. So it's a difference, but we do have the youngsters that are playing at a level, and hopefully this will push us to take our game to the next level.
Last question: How many tournaments do you reckon we should be having per year, especially for the seniors? When I say seniors, I mean you guys' age.
I mean, as many as possible, really, but everything is volunteer based. There's no money in it. I mean, I run 2 out of the 5 tournaments a year. So like the last one you were at, like I directed it. Javon was a tournament referee, and we both played in the final. So it's tricky for us to do that. We are the ones that are doing that. Coral Beach usually has one, but they're moved more into the international, like, older event that they do. But I mean, it's just getting as much as possible to create more people wanting to play. And our level is not the thing that should be the most important. It should always be about development first, because that's the only way that we're ever going to have more numbers.
But you're going to have those tournaments at that level for someone to aspire to.
Sure.
We know about the development because they have quite a few tournaments for the youngsters.
Well, I mean the development even at the adult level, because those juniors have to still merge into playing adults and then us. A 12-year-old playing me is not helping either of us really, outside of maybe just the fun that they got to play. So it's figuring out those levels and figuring out the best way to do that.
All right. Well, congratulations.
Congratulations again, sir.
Well done. I'll be in touch as we get closer to your first tournament.
And anyone out there that's listening, please go out and support Tariq, Trey, and Scott. It's supposed to be home court advantage. There's only home court advantage if people come out and watch. Outside of that, it's almost worse at home court, because if you're at home and no one's watching, it actually feels worse. So please get out there and watch it.
Scott's doing the court at just after,
I think, in a couple minutes.
Yeah, just after 2. Yeah. So. Okay. Alrighty.
Congratulations again, sir.
Appreciate it.
Work.
That's the plan.
That's the plan. I like that. All right, we will take a commercial break and we come back. We'll have some more guests online in the studio.
Sports Talk Radio. Inside Sports Talk Radio on Power 95 FM with host Ian Rollins and co-host Earl Beasley.
And welcome back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. On the phone with us now is Mr. Sean Silvercoat. He's the tournament director of the Bermuda Championship PGA Tournament. That's getting on in Bermuda, October 31st to November 2nd, excuse me. Good afternoon, Sean. How are you, sir?
Hello, Ian. How are you? Thanks for having me back.
Not a problem. Just before we get into the golf thing, I just wanted to throw this at you since you're from Atlanta, Georgia. What happened to your Bulldogs this weekend?
Well, first of all, I went to school at Georgia Tech.
Clear yourself. You're good.
I knew he was going to say that.
Absolutely beautiful.
Okay, I knew he was going to say that. I knew you went to Georgia Tech. I knew he was going to say it. You're a Yellow Jacket. I get it.
Not much better for us.
No. But big upset on the weekend. Big upset. But that's it. You got some good news. You got a press release. Big tournament that's coming up. You got Bermudians that are trying to qualify for the event this coming, I think it's Wednesday and Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Just enlighten us what this entails.
Well, first of all, 18 local players are going to be vying for 3 spots in the field. So we have 4 Bermudian players that will be playing for the championship. Dwayne Pearman has been given the first exemption of the tournament. As you know, Dwayne has been around as a really in golf lore in this country. So we felt it was appropriate in that he's playing well, that he should receive the first exemption that was given out by the event. And secondarily, we wanted to make sure that there were other playing opportunities. And we had 4 spots that we had kind of designated to the side for Bermudian golfers to make sure that we had great representation. And we felt the only fair way to do this was to let the other players play off for those spots. So it's going to be very fun to watch. The golf course has really come together since the hurricane and is in beautiful shape. All the new bunkering is in good shape, and we have the greens rolling very quick. So it's going to be fun to watch these guys go at each other for the next couple of days, and may the best man win, I guess you'd say. So we'll have 4 total golfers from Bermuda participating when we tee it off the week of the 28th.
With that said, it also means that on the 16th, it gets underway at 10 past 10 Bermuda time, and it's free for Bermudians to come and witness this on Wednesday and Thursday.
That's correct. So we hope everybody will come out, walk around, cheer on their favorites.
Okay, moving forward, just the tournament itself, how are things preparation? I mean, time is of essence now because it's only 2-3 weeks away, and you'll be ready for the big event.
Yeah, it's come fast, as you know, but I tell you, everybody is well prepared. The last few weeks, we've kind of been tackling one big item at a time. A few weeks ago, we had our corporate preview day, which allowed all the corporate clients to come out, see the golf course, see where their location for their hospitality was going to be, how it works with tickets and the food and beverage tasting and everything that we needed to prepare them with. 2 weeks ago, then we got together 25 local companies that are going to be participating with us as vendors at the event who are helping us build this small city out here, and got them all taken care of, making sure that we're all working on the same page with the same schedules. And that was a very productive day. Looking forward to working with all those companies in the upcoming weeks. And then last weekend on Saturday, we had our volunteer orientation. So we had 550 volunteers that we have signed up, many of which came out and got the full education on where they would park, where they come to check in, what their credentials get them for the week, got their uniforms, and the BF&M folks were there to say thanks. You know, BF&M is our sponsor of the volunteer program, so it was a very good day. Then this weekend coming up, we have a volunteer party at the Fairmont Southampton, so we're going to be excited to host all of them. And then we'll be ready to kick this thing off on the 28th. We're very excited.
When can we expect to see the names rolled out for the main tournament, which is due to start next week, or week after next, as we look forward to hearing who else will be lining up on the golf course? I know that you released 4 names a week ago, so when can we see the rollout?
We can certainly tell you some of the upcoming names now. As we peeled back and looked at our field, it's really a nice mix of guys who have played the game for quite a while, accomplished a lot in a great game of golf, but also the upcoming stars that are rising right now. Guys who are recently off the Corn Ferry Tour that are now new to the PGA Tour, but also a lot of the bright young stars, including Aaron Wise, who was the Rookie of the Year last year, Lonzo Griffin, who won yesterday. So you've got a lot of guys who are playing on tour and winning right now that are going to be here that may not be big names yet, but will be in the future. Some of the names, though, that people might recognize. And first, let me just tell you the accomplishments of the field that we have, because I think this is, in its totality, is pretty impressive. Of the 120 players, 52 of them have won a PGA Tour event. 145 total wins collectively. We have 5 major champions. We have 7 different players who played in the Ryder Cup. We have 12 different players who played in the President's Cup, and 25 different players who have played in World Cup appearances for their country. We have 1 Ryder Cup captain and at least 5 Olympians who are playing as well. So the names of guys include names such as Jason Duffner, Davis Love III, Brandon Grace, Robert Appleby, Stuart Appleby. I'm sorry, Robert Allenby, Stuart Appleby, Chad Campbell. We have a really cool, interesting story. Fred Punk, who's a great player on the PGA Tour Champions, he and his son are both going to be playing in the field, which is great. Bill Haas, who's won the FedEx Cup a few years ago, he'll be competing. Mike Weir, major champion, will be with us, as well as Trevor Immelman and Rich Beam, both major champions. So we feel like we have a very strong field collectively. We understand that it's going to be a process that we're going to go through every year to try and continue to recruit names, bigger names people know and understand. And ultimately, it's our goal, as we talked about before, to have our own date in the future where we're not butting up against other events that will take away from our field. But that is going to come with growing it in time. So we look forward to hosting these guys, these families, making sure that we put Bermuda's best foot forward, because we know they're our best ambassadors. They're going to talk to their friends about what the event was all about, what a great experience it was in Bermuda, and we're very excited by that.
Well, a lot is happening, Sean. You're putting things in place, and as you mentioned earlier, things are coming faster than you anticipated, but that's a part of the business because you're on top of things. And, of course, this is a 5-year project that's put in place, and each year you say looking to do improvements. So this year, as Bermudians, we look for big things, and next year we look for bigger and better things. Those names that you had named off, yeah, some names have been on the pro circuit, and I do recognize some of those names. So there's a high quality of players that are coming to Bermuda that will be making a name for themselves for the future in this professional sport.
Yeah, to me, again, it's a nice mix of guys who've been around the game for a while and guys who are coming up that you haven't seen yet, but they're the next, Ricky Fowlers and Justin Thomases. They're the names that everybody's going to recognize in time because they're great players, and these guys are extremely accomplished. As it pertains to what else is going out onto the course, I mean, it has been an exciting couple of weeks. If you've been out to the course lately, or anybody's been out to the course lately, you'll have seen our structures being built around 18, and number 16 now even has the roof on it and everything. So you're going to see some really beautiful hospitality out there. That part has been and will continue to be our primary focus, to make sure that in a 2-week period of time, everything's buttoned up, ready to go, so that when we open up the gates to the players on that Monday, that they're seeing a finished product and a beautiful product. And then we can't wait to open up the gates to the fans on that Thursday. And we're hopeful of a beautiful weather weekend. Very excited about the opportunity to host Bermuda. And we hope that everybody will take advantage of the promotions and come on out. We have big promotions planned on Thursday. We have a Women's Day. Anybody who comes in, all females are welcome. $15 the ticket price, and all that money will go and be donated to breast cancer awareness. On Each day of the event, seniors 55 and under, 55 and older, excuse me, are $15, and juniors 17 and under are admitted free, courtesy of Butterfield and Ballast. So we're extremely excited about that program because we want to see the youth of the country get out here and watch golf, be a part of golf. We want to develop golf programs for the juniors on the island as well.
Okay. Thank you very much, Sean. Is there anything you'd like to add before we wrap up? Because I know you're going to be back with us on Wednesday morning at quarter to 8 with Miss Thang, who's at the controls right now. So she'll be your guest on Wednesday morning at quarter to 8. Is there anything you'd like to add with us?
Thank you in advance to everybody, and just please visit our website if you have any questions, BermudaChampionship.com.
Okay, thank you, Sean. And of course, we have you on another series of Inside Sports Talk Radio. Do enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll be tuning in with you Wednesday morning on quarter to 8 with Miss Thang on Power 95.
Right on. Thanks, gentlemen. Take care.
Okay. Take care. We'll take our last commercial break, and we'll wrap it up when we come back with Inside Sports Talk Radio. Before we wrap up, just a real update on Bermuda's cricket team.
Yeah, Bermuda played Nigeria earlier today in a T20 ICC 2020 warm-up match, their first official warm-up match for getting ready for the tournament that gets underway on Saturday. Bermuda picked up a 53-run victory. Batted first, they scored 171 for 5. Akira Baskin was the top scorer, 49. Deontay Darrow scored 47, not out. And then they bowled Nigeria out for 118, with Kamal Levrock getting 2 for 14 and Rodney Trott 2 for 26, I believe.
Okay.
So,
all right,
yeah,
well done.
A good start for them. You know, they've been out there for a while. They've been working at their, fine-tuning things.
Mm-hmm.
And I think today was a result that they would be very pleased with, having put in a lot of the work ahead of the time. So.
Who's their first match on Saturday, guys? I can't remember.
Me neither.
Okay, I know so much going on, right?
Yeah.
So again, we just tune in on Saturday. We're going to play the first match, T20 qualifier.
Yep.
As if I think they qualify. The first two go into the
first six.
First six go next round, then they go into Australia for the World Cup next year. Okay. Well, thank you very much, sir.
All righty.
All right, that's all the time we have for Inside Sports Talk Radio. Mr. Sting, enjoy the rest of your day. We're signing off. We'll have you back here next Monday. Yeah. Enjoy the rest of your day.